Hello, Facebook family. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, today I had the great pleasure of joining the sports medicine guys this morning at sports radio, not sports radio, XM radio, Dr. Radio show. And we talked about diets a lot. And that was part of the conversation. Actually, off the mic, we talked about diets. On the mic, we spoke about ketones and ketogenic diet. And as you can imagine, I talk about dieting and different types of diets every day because that's part of what I do. Food is medicine. The right type of food is medicine. Hippocrates, as many of you know, said, let food be thy medicine and let medicine be thy food. So it's an important thing, and it's an important part of health and optimal health and high performance. The problem is, of course, that diets are becoming like another religion, right? I think people are passionate about their religion to a fault. That's why there's some killings that occur. People are passionate about their political affiliation. I'm a Democrat. I'm a Republican, right? And people are passionate about their diet. So dieting is becoming a religion. Very dogmatic. And I'm not sure how that benefits anyone. Just like anyone who's too fanatical about a religion to the point that they kill people for their religion, quote unquote. So, just like people are fanatical about their political party, not really paying any attention to the other party, where the other party may actually have, some good points and some great principles. Dieting is becoming very similar to that. And I'm not happy with that, and I don't see how that works. Oh, I'm a Paleolithic. I'm in a Paleolithic diet. You wear shirts, paleo. Tattoos. Paleo. I'm plant-based. I'm plant-based. Diet, only plants, and that's the best way to go. And you have now ketogenic. Ketogenic is the best way to go. Ketones. Give me fat. And I think that is causing more confusion for people. People are eating with more guilt. And one of the main things is you never eat anything with guilt. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's, brownies. You don't eat any food with guilt. It doesn't help. So, I have done almost every diet under the book, for several reasons. Number one is because out of curiosity to see what happens to my body. I'm typically my own guinea pig, so I take all kinds of supplements and do all kinds of things, exercises, and eat all kinds of things to kind of see how that has an effect on my body. And I do extensive research on dieting, particularly as it relates to, longevity, prostate cancer, prostate health, right? I do a lot of research in that regard. And so I think I'm in a good position to, have some strong opinions about dieting. The first thing that I'll say is this. A good diet that's sustainable, it's better than the perfect diet that's unsustainable. I remember a long time ago, roughly 20 years ago, I hate to admit, when I first started getting into this healthcare movement and health food movement and natural health movement, and I had no clue what that really was. And I said, well, the only way I can learn what being in healthcare, in natural medicine is, and natural healthcare is to work in a health food store and figure out what all these foods are, things like tofu and tempeh and raw food. And so that's when I became a raw foodist. And raw foodist, and I became vegan and so on at the time. And I learned a couple of things. One of the things that I learned that was extremely interesting was I saw a lot of people with their carts full of supplements, their carts full of organic vegetables and things like that, and health foods that were extremely unhealthy and unhappy. So they ate all these foods, they spent tons of money on food, but they were extremely unhealthy and extremely unhappy. What's the use? What's the use? Then I worked in restaurants as a waiter for a lot of years, and I saw people that, and I worked in Italian restaurants, of course, a lot of carbohydrates, right? And, some of these people, certainly there were people that were, overweight people coming in with their family, everybody overweight, eating a lot. So we know that you eat a lot of, heavy starches and carbohydrates, no brainers, no good for you. But there were people that ate a nice big salad and split a plate of pasta. And they seemed healthy. Of course, I didn't have their lab work, but I spoke to them. Because I was just curious. I'm a highly curious person. I spoke to them about, hey, what is it that you do? What are what's your lifestyle like? And oftentimes they just they eat moderately. They split a lot of things. They split desserts. They had lots of salads. They exercise. They sleep well, and they were just happy people. And that was a little bit of a wake-up call for me, because then I was like, okay, so then do I need to do everything organically? This was 20 years ago. Of course, my tune has evolved since then, based on research, based on experience. So here's the deal. Here's the takeaway. And I'll repeat something that I said I think is really crucial for you to understand and to adopt into your form of thinking with regards to nutrition, diet, and food. A really good diet that's actually sustainable is much better than a diet that's perfect but unsustainable. That's number one. Number two is, let's not forget why we want to be healthy. Let's not forget why you want to do the right things with regards to living longer and better. The reason why you want to do that is, hi Chanel, the reason why you want to do that is because you want to spend more time with people you love. That's the bottom line. I've been in this for a long time, and I've peeled all the layers, try to figure out what motivates people, what inspires people to do the things I'm asking them to do. And hey, Jimmy, to what motivates people to take action. I've been peeling those layers. And you would think, oh, well, because it's my business. Oh, because I want to be more successful. Oh, because... No. The bottom line is, people want to live longer and eat right and exercise and do all the right things because they ultimately want to spend time with those they love. And they want to spend more time with those they love. That being the case, what's one of the main things that brings people together? Food. Food brings people together, right? Food. So then it becomes awkward when you have a dietary lifestyle that no one else has, and then you can't interact with people and enjoy moments with people you love. Now, like I said before, food is medicine. Okay? Food is medicine. Food is important. Okay? Food is the right type of food. It can be highly therapeutic. So I'm not saying, hey, don't worry about it, go to the buffets. Right? I'm not saying, hey, just eat whatever you want. No, I'm not saying that because I clearly know the importance of eating the right way. But what I am saying is that when you become dogmatic about food, when you become neurotic about food, and when you trying to get on this diet that's not sustainable for you, then it takes away the fun of the whole thing, and that doesn't mean you'll be happy. All right, so that's number 2. Number 3, so then what is the best way to eat? Here's what the research shows based on my experience. Of course, I specialize, as you know, a lot on men's health and prostate issues. But in general, I'll say this. There's no question that eating a lot of plant foods is the way to go. There's no question in my mind. All right? Plant foods, a lot of vegetables and greens, and even juicing greens, which is actually really, you feel great. It's live food. You just feel fantastic. So plant-based is the way to go. I'm not denying that. And I know a lot of people, I don't think anybody denies that, actually. Not even paleo, not even ketogenic. Eating plant-based foods is great, particularly vegetables and many fruits. Now, the carbohydrate load needs to, for most people, stay as low as possible. Well, some people would say, well, you have to individualize diets more. Maybe high carbohydrate is good for some people, not good for others. Maybe high protein is good for people, not for others. I get that. You're absolutely right. I'm not disagreeing. But there is an 80-20 rule, right? There is an 80-20 rule. 80% of the people will do great in a plant-based diet, and you can add some fish to that mix. So with regards to meat and just animal sources, you look at the research, it's very clear. Fish, it's a very good thing to eat for most people. More specifically, actually colored fish as opposed to white fish. Much better to eat things like salmon and sardines rather than things, other white, like codfish, for example. There's more nutrition in color, just like there's more nutrition in vegetables with color, there's more nutrition in fish with color. Well, how about meat? How about beef? How about, masculine things to eat, or a good medium rare? The deal with beef is the following. It's all on how it's prepared. And of course, meats that are grass-fed organic are better. There's no question about that. The consistency is better. There's more omega-3 fatty acids. It's more nutritionally dense. The grass-fed, no-brainer. But if you burn or you cook at a high heat these meats, then all bets are off. Right? So well-done meats are no good. Do you need beef? Do you absolutely need? Most people don't need beef. Most people don't need meat. But if I am invited to a steakhouse and I tolerate meats well and I feel good eating meat, so then I will have a medium rare with broccoli or Brussels sprouts and a little espresso at the end. So now I'm enjoying maybe a couple of glasses of red wine. In that scenario, on the scale of 1 to 5, where 5 is absolutely the best foods, very protective, maybe that whole meal is a 3 maybe. I'm okay with that. And again, if my meal is a 3 and I'm having a great time with people I love and friends and family, the whole experience, eating this food, having a good time with people I love, may be a 4. Right? And we can talk, I'm not going to talk about what eating meats does to the environment. We know that it's not great for the environment, but I'm not saying eat meats every day. I think people should have vegetarian days if they don't, or at least meatless days if they're not vegetarian. So you consume less meat, it's much better for the environment. It's never going to, just like guns in the U.S. will never be outlawed, not eating meat will never be a situation that we'll ever have. So if we cut back, it's better for our health. Very likely. We eat more plant foods. We still feel engaged. We're still having a good time with family and friends. Not that you have to eat meats to feel that way, but you don't have to cut it out either. And you'll sustain great health. Here's the other thing. There's no question. You know about your body and what feels good in your body better than I do, better than your doctor, even than if I were your doctor. So, of course, you got to redefine what feels good. So if I eat a box of chocolate chip cookies right now, right, that's going to feel real good. Right? If I eat a box of chocolate chip cookies right now, that's going to feel real good. But when how we define feeling good is feeling good 3 hours after that meal. Okay? How do you feel 3 hours after that meal? Any food that makes you feel good instantaneously is a drug. All right? You get high. This is why people, when they're stressed out, they eat food oftentimes, if not use illegal drugs or drugs in general or alcohol, but food is a drug, particularly carbs and sugar, because that's what people crave when they feel overwhelmed or stressed out. So any food that makes you feel good right away, it's a drug. It's not really a food. Good food, good quality food, makes you feel not only fine initially, but you feel really good 2 to 3 hours later. So some people, when you say, hey, you go paleo, they do horrible. They feel like they have a rock in their stomach for 8 hours after they eat a piece of meat. They can't digest the meat. Carbs are horrible for most. 80-20 rule, carbs are horrible for most people, particularly when it's overeaten. All right, so when you have this huge bowl plate of pasta, it's horrible. You feel good initially, drug, but you feel tired, depressed, you can't think, you want to go to sleep. This is when people, why do people, feel like falling asleep after having lunch? Right? Literally, there are some people that just want to go to sleep. That's because they're eating too many carbs for lunch, and it could be a sandwich, and that can be too much carbs. Lastly, clearly within the last 5 to 10 years, I have learned that it's not only what you eat, is when you eat. The whole idea with intermittent fasting is real, it is good, and it is incredibly healthy as best as I can tell right now, and you just feel sharp the longer you don't eat. How long should I intermittent fast for? 12, 16 hours a day. Is it hard to do? Initially, for the first couple of weeks, it is. I'm still struggling with it, in fact. So, but then you get used to it, and then you feel sharper, you feel better, it's better for your health, it's better, you lean out, you lose weight if you have to lose weight. Okay? So it's not only what to eat, it's when to eat. So I guess the takeaway is this. Don't get too religious like, too dogmatic about your diet. It's not a religion, it's not a political preference. It's something you want to do because if it will help you feel good, not only now, but hours later and days later. Can potentially, eating the right way can potentially improve longevity, for sure. Mostly plants, I mostly plants. Some meats are fine if you're a meat eater, and the meat when you eat it doesn't really, it doesn't cause GERD, it doesn't cause acid reflux, it doesn't, feel like a rock in your stomach. You feel good. I feel great after a good medium rare. Maybe because I'm a blood type O. I don't know. Mostly plants, plenty of fish, some meats, that's 80-20, and then you just have to know yourself and be in tune with yourself to see what feels good. What feels good. You do that, you increase your chances and of just living longer and better and having and performing well. Men, let me speak about men for a second. Men don't care about health. If you're honest, if men are listening right now or listen later, and if you're honest with yourself, you don't care about health until the point you don't have it. You only care about performance. Okay? Men only care about performance. They don't care about health. So, And it's unfortunate because I do see many men dying prematurely and getting heart attacks and cancers, and it's heartbreaking. It really is. But the reality is that men care about performance more than health until they don't have their health, which then interferes with their performance, and now they care about performance, or now they care about health. So if you eat the right way, mostly plants, good amount of fish, intermittent fasting, and figure out what feels right in hours later, not initially, then your performance will improve, whether it is, in business or at your job, or your ability to think clearly, or energy level, or may I dare say, even in bed, your performance will improve. And you improve your longevity. That is it. That's all I got for you today. I feel like I felt like I should have shared this with you, since this topic of dieting and how hard it is and confusing and so forth has been, a big part of my day-to-day, at least for the last 3 or 4 days, including this morning at the XM radio show. And I wanted to share that with you all. I hope it's helpful for you. And tune into drgeo.com. That's Geo with an E, where I'll have a lot more information coming out really soon. I hope you all have a really good day, and talk to you soon. Be well. Bye.